All right, let's go out to California and talk to the extraordinary Emily. What's up, Emily?
Hey, how's it going?
Partying. What are you up to?
Good. I'm hiding in my car, so.
Just loud and proud it. Loud and proud it. Roll down the windows and let them know. What's up?
All right. So I'll just start with my question, and then, if you have questions, you can interrupt me. But so my question is, am I wrong in not showing my emotions to others? And then just to explain that a little bit, I wrote, I'm a pretty even-tempered person. I don't have like big vary in my emotions, like either happy or sad. I'm just pretty even-keeled. And more specifically, when I do have emotions, I don't really show them to others. I'm more private with them. And I just feel like this seems to be abnormal for like girls in general. But I've been this way since I can remember, like since I was a teenager. But recently, me and my husband, we sat down with someone and we talked with him for about an hour. And at the end of the hour, he made some comment and he said that he pegs me for someone that doesn't show much emotion. And for some reason, having a stranger tell me that and peg me so easily bothered me. So I would like to get your insight on that.
Well, I don't know that it was like, I don't think he was like, like working at Hogwarts. If he talked to you for an hour and y'all were talking about some heavy things and you didn't show emotion, he was just commenting on, you don't show emotion.
Maybe that's true.
So it's not like he was like, hoo-ah, you know what I mean? Like, so let me ask you this. Where did you learn to be even keel?
I don't know. I knew you were going to ask that. And so I was actually talking to my sister about it. I don't know that I can say. I do remember like when I was young, my parents never like got me in trouble for showing emotion or anything, but I do remember like my mom would go visit her parents a lot and they lived out of state, so we didn't get to see them very much. And they would all be very sad when we would leave. And I just remember thinking like, I'm going to be the one that doesn't cry, but I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. That was just kind of in my head.
Gotcha. You showed them, huh?
I guess. I think I see it as a sign of strength, but I don't look at people that show emotion as being weak. At least not, I don't know. Maybe deep down I do.
So here's kind of my thinking. Emotions are shared or they're expressed in a variety of ways. Mm-hmm. And I've seen people who have really awful things, right? Like gnarliest of gnarly, friends, loved ones, whatever. And they don't cry. Or they go into kind of a dark hole for 4 or 5 days and then they're kind of back at it. Mm-hmm. And I've sat with people and they're like, dude, everyone's telling me like, I'm going to feel like this or this is going to happen and it just doesn't. I just am kind of on to the next. And so I think that is equally a valid expression of what your body is working through as any other, I need to be out for 5 months. David Kessler says grief is like a fingerprint. It's unique to everybody. Right. And so once like your body's a mode of expression, it's unique to you. Mm-hmm. What I would ask is this a way that you either exert power in a situation? And I would challenge you on like, oh, watch this. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to stuff it so far down into my soul. Just watch. Or you actually didn't feel it. Like, I'm sad, but I don't feel like my body doesn't feel like it's going to cry. Or that's a superpower that you put out into the world to protect yourself now. Right? So it's either a way to get power or it's a way to defend yourself. And if it's not, then great. I would tell you, you have to have somebody that you tell the hard stuff to. That doesn't mean you have to cry and kick and scream. Do you have that person, those people that's not your spouse?
Yes.
Are you honest with them?
Kind of.
Kind of.
I don't know that I share easily.
That's okay. I think we have a culture of oversharing. So
okay.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah, I do. I have a group of friends that have walked through life with. So
Give me an example of a time you shared what you were feeling.
Well, okay, to them. So me and my husband went through a really rough patch 2 years ago, like not between us, but just in life. I had some significant health problems and stuff. So I would say like during that time, I would share like what was going on and stuff with them.
Would you share clinically, like, I've got this ailment and this, I'm taking this medication? Or would you say, I'm scared our sex life is never going to get back to the way it was. I'm scared my husband's going to leave me.
Probably in between that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say in between that.
Okay. Sometimes people say I'm not very emotional. I don't like to share my emotions. And that's them giving themselves a pass on keeping secrets. And those are two different things.
Okay.
I'm super okay if you don't wail and kick and scream. I'm a wailer and kicker and screamer. Kelly is not. She's not. Mm-hmm. And in fact, Kelly, and Kelly, you can pop in here. I don't want to tell your story for you, but we talked about how when she was diagnosed with breast cancer several years ago, that she spent most of her energy making sure everybody around her was fine.
That would be me.
Right? Exactly. But that doesn't mean you get a pass on sitting down with somebody and saying, hey, I'm actually scared to death.
Yes, it does.
That was Kelly. It doesn't, because secrets have a biological toll they take on your body. So do you get the difference between emotions and secrets as I'm describing them? I may not be doing a good job.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I think I do.
Okay. So, yeah, dude, here's what I would do. I would spend 30 days having a conversation with yourself in a notebook. Mm-hmm. Do you do that?
No, because whenever you say that, I'm like, how do people find time to do that?
Oh, sweetheart.
I have 4 little kids, so my time is about 30 minutes in the evening before I go to bed to do all the things.
I disagree with you. That's the time you allow yourself.
Okay.
Here, I don't want to speak something into the universe that's not true, okay? Because I don't want to send somebody on a spelunking expedition down into the caverns of their soul for no reason. Right. But it is not uncommon that somebody looks at the world as it is laid in front of them. And as my friend Ian Simpkins says, if busyness is your drug, rest will feel like stress. I don't have time. I have this job to do and this list to do, and I will get through the list, and everyone has to eat, and everyone has to poop, and everyone has to wipe, and all the dishes have to be done, and all of this has to be done. And what all of those tasks, which do have to get done, they become a way to not feel. Mm-hmm. And they become an addiction. Because they allow me to be busy instead of to experience what I'm actually feeling about all this stuff. Because when you feel it and experience it, that's when you have a hard conversation with your husband and say, hey, I need some help around here. Or I really wanted to be a mom and have 4 kids, and I'm burning out too. And so can we hire a house cleaner once a month? Or can I work half a day once a week so I can talk to adults about things other than poo and pee? Mm-hmm. But if you don't ever give yourself a space, which, by the way, give yourself another 30 minutes, for God's sake, right? If you don't give yourself that space, your body is keeping the score the whole time, as Vander Kolk says.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And then one day you'll explode. Have you had a good one? A good just rip roar?
That's the thing, is I hold it in, and then I will show my emotion in probably anger or frustration.
Gosh, you know what you could do for a living is be a producer of pretty good podcasts, because you're exactly like my friend Kelly. Exactly. Here's what
I tell my husband it's dangerous when I have time to think, because then, like you said, you go down that rabbit trail.
It's dangerous when you have time to think. It's deadly when you don't.
That's a good point.
So here's your challenge. Find 2 or 3 things that you can ask him to help around the house with, and that doesn't mean he's not working his butt off at his job, and that doesn't mean he's not tired either.
Mm-hmm.
That means there's only so much of you to go around, and give yourself 30 days to write down in a journal, in a notebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be as simple as, here's 5 things I'm grateful for. Here's 5 things that I'm not grateful for. Just be honest. And it might take 2 or 3 weeks of doing this to slowly peel back some of those layers. My guess is it was not cool for you to cause a scene when you were a kid.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know if it was cool or not. I think my parents would have been fine with it, but yeah, no, there was a sense of like, we act this way in the culture we grew up in.
Yeah.
So that's probably partly true.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right?
Right.
But I don't want your kids feeling that energy, that nuclear reactor inside your chest that's always kind of buzzing, that you don't deal with, except when it just overflows and becomes a volcano in your living room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them people worry about that explosion. It's not great, right? When yelling and screaming and slamming cabinets or whatever it is you do. But that's not what I'm mostly worried about. I'm more worried about the day-to-day, the pervasive burn that's always there, that those 4 little kids are wondering 24/7, what am I doing? I love her. She's so great. She never blows up at us. She doesn't scream or hit us, but she doesn't feel safe. And that's what I'm hoping for. And that doesn't mean you have to scream and cry and have big swings and all that. Everybody's different when it comes to that. And it's okay if you don't want to overshare. You want to keep some things private, just to have a couple of people that you're fully open with. Great. That's totally awesome. But there's a difference between feeling, there's a difference between emotion and keeping secrets. My guess is if you make it a regular practice to not keep secrets from your husband, to not keep secrets from 2 or 3 close friends, over time, your body will feel permission to feel and to let some stuff go and to drop your shoulders and to finally say some things out loud, like things that you need and things that you're frustrated by and things that you love. I'll leave you with this. If you're constantly stomping on the stuff you don't have time to deal with, I don't got time for that, then over time, you're going to also unconsciously be stomping out joy, laughter, tons of fun, reckless romance with your husband. Those things get squashed too. And I want you to have it all. Have it all. Thank you so much for the call, Emily. You're awesome.
I was wondering how I could get my family to attend church despite my husband's resistance.
I don't know. Best of luck to you, Jane. I don't know. Tell me about it.
So when we first got married, we used to go together all the time. We've been together, over 10 years now. And over the years, he's just stopped wanting to go. I still go. I like going. My kids like going. But it's hard when we're not all together. You know what I mean? And we've been
tell me about that being hard. Like it's hard, like logistically, or it's hard emotionally. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, because,
tell me about it.
Well, so I'm a firm believer in God, and everything happens for a reason, and He plays a big role in our lives. And even when you think He's not listening, He is. You know.
Okay.
My husband doesn't have the same belief. Like he doesn't. I don't think it's really like the church going that's bothering me. It's like the lack of faith.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know I can't force anybody to do anything, but I just thought when, the first however many years that it was a part of his life, and it turns out it's not anymore, and that matters a lot to me.
Yeah. So, was he hurt by the church growing up?
He says it was his parents.
Okay. Tell me about
So
that.
I don't know. Trying to get him to talk about it is like pulling teeth with no Novocaine.
Yeah, man. So I wonder if
Like
there's some pretty serious hurt down in there, and he may be not wanting to talk to you about it because he doesn't want to hurt what he sees that you hold so valuable, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I found a book. It's called Pray for Him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that book.
Oh, it's a good one. It basically teaches you that you can control yourself and you keep praying for them to find their way. Mm. I've been following it. It just doesn't feel like he's wanting to change his opinions or feelings or thoughts. And I don't know if it's worth pushing or if I just need to like stay back and be quiet about it and just keep going with the kids or like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of different things I'm thinking here. Number one, I may have mentioned this on the show before. We've got 700 episodes or something now, so I don't remember if I have or not. But I remember running across a video. It was an old Penn and Teller video. They still are magicians, but I forget the name of the tall guy. Is it Teller or Penn? Is it tall one Teller?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
The tall one is Penn.
Sorry.
So Penn had, he was just telling a pretty amazing story about a guy coming up to him after a show. And Penn is a devout atheist. He's a or at the time was, I don't have any idea what his religious affiliation is now, but he was a outspoken atheist. Okay. And he said this guy showed up after the show, was very talking about magic, talking about the show, talking about the whatever. And as he started to leave, he said, "Hey, I'm a Christian, and I would kick myself if I didn't ask you to come to church with me tomorrow." And the guy said, "Well, I'm going to pass on it, but thank you so much for the invite." And Penn, I remember he was doing it on his phone. It was a small video on his phone. It was before everybody did this, like on social media. But he said, "If you believe that a truck is coming my way, and you're yelling at me, 'Hey, there's a truck coming,' and I'm like, 'No, there's not,' I would hope you would love me enough to try to push me out of the way."
Right.
And so what he was saying is this guy was so kind, was so complimentary, like clearly was a fan of the show. It wasn't a ruse to come talk to me about his force his religion on me. And also cares enough about my soul that I don't even believe in, that he would say, "Hey, I would love for you to come to church with me." And he was just saying, I honor that guy. Good for him. And so if you're calling me because you are worried about your faith has said, "Hey, people like your husband are in grave eternal danger," that's challenge number one.
Right.
And
he's been struggling mentally a lot too, and
that was my next thing. That's my next thing.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that church isn't the only thing that you thought was going to be a part of y'all's life that has fallen off.
Right.
What else has changed?
Everything.
Tell me about it.
So we've been recently trying to get out of debt. We've been following Dave Ramsey's plan. That's kind of what sparked all this is because in Dave Ramsey's teachings, it's very Christian-based.
Exactly. He's outspoken Christian.
And I love it.
Okay.
Yep. He's bought me your books. I think we bought pretty much everything we can from you guys to help us get back on track. Right. And
get back on track to what though? That's what I'm getting to.
Just being happy, being able to be in a place where we can not have to worry about money or anything, like the daily struggles, to a point he doesn't have to go to work. He can go to work. You know what I mean?
Okay, but dig underneath that. What has changed? You're talking all about symptoms. What has changed?
Our marriage.
Tell me about it. What has changed?
We're different people now than we were when we got together.
Of course you were.
There's just a lot of things that have.
What are they? Start spitting them out.
I don't know.
Do y'all vote? Did he change the way he votes now?
No.
Does he change the way he dresses?
No.
Does he start listening to Morgan Wallen all of a sudden?
No, and that's the thing is like I don't know what's changed with him. Like he just tells me, he's had these feelings come up and all of a sudden he's struggling. I'm like, okay, but where did it come from? Because I thought everything was fine.
Okay, that's not a good answer.
I know. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
When your husband comes to you and says, "Hey, I don't know where they're coming from, but all these feelings are coming up inside of me," take both of his hands and hold one of his hands and take the other hand and put it behind his neck and look him in the eyes and say, "I'm so grateful that you told me. Thank you. I believe you."
Yeah, I'll have to try that.
Please do that right when you get off this call.
Okay.
For a man to say that to his wife, I'm speaking generally, that's a guy on the edge saying help.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say, "I thought everything was fine," he goes, "Oh yeah, crap. Keep that bottled up."
Right.
Okay. And so as soon as this call is over, if you can get to him in person, and say, "Hey, I said this wrong. I believe you. I love you."
Okay. I can do that.
Because he may have challenges in his life with some sort of addiction you don't know anything about. He may have challenges in his life financially that you don't know anything about. He may have all kind of challenges that makes walking into a church makes him feel like he's going to get struck by lightning.
Right.
He may not think that he deserves to be seen next to you and those kids in that church building. It could have nothing to do with his faith. He could be struggling with anxiety. He could be struggling with depression. He could be struggling with any number of things.
That makes sense.
And most men do not have the verbal skills to articulate what's going on. So they hit things, they hide, they drink beer, or they play video games, they shut down.
Sounds about right.
Those are usually signs for me, especially when they come out of nowhere or they come on strong, that somebody's not doing well.
Yeah.
Would you go see a marriage counselor with you?
Yep. Yep. We've been doing that. Yep. We found a good one.
Has he told the truth?
I don't know.
You know him. You've been with him for over 10 years. When you leave, do you feel like all air is out of the room? Do you feel like all things are on the table or not?
No.
Okay. It's time for you to go there.
Right.
Are you scared about what you're going to find?
Yes.
What are you going to find?
I don't know. I'd say I'm worried.
Okay.
Sometimes you just get a feeling.
Yep. 100%.
Yep. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Go towards it.
But I don't know. He likes to be left alone sometimes to just process things in his head, and I'm trying to respect that. But at the same time, I can see him hurting, and I don't want to make anything worse. And that's kind of where I struggle.
Okay.
Because I care a lot.
I know.
Probably too much.
No, there's no such thing as caring too much about your husband.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as that.
Yeah.
Lead with curiosity over judgment, okay?
Oh, all the time. Yep. Yeah, no one's perfect, and I'm not in a place to judge.
Okay.
I just care, and it's hard to get through those walls.
So start this time saying, "I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing here."
can do that.
I believe you that you're not okay. And sometimes I get loud and I care so much, I get overzealous and I just get worried about everything all at the same time. But I promise I'll do my best to be a safe place. What is actually going on? Please tell me.
I can do that.
We leave the counselor's office and I know in my bones you're leaving stuff unsaid. Please tell me.
I can do that.
Are you safe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're safe.
All right. Today's the day. Today's the day.
Yep, it is.
All right.
Yep.
I'm happy to talk to him
Thank
too.
you.
He sounds like he's a good man just going through it, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's one of the good ones.
Okay.
He's just hurting, I think.
Turn the lights on for him. And it might be standing in that first initial blast. I just need to be by myself. I'm not going to leave you alone on this one.
Right. It has no point in being married if you're going to leave each other alone.
I know. I'm not going to leave you alone on this one. Usually I'll respect that, but not today because I see that you're not okay.
I can tell him that. That's easy.
With one hand on the back of his neck.
Okay.
Okay?
I can do that.
All right. Let me know how it goes, Jane. Call anytime, okay, sister? Let's go to Jeff in Orlando. What's up, Jeff?
Yes.
What's up, man?
Not much. You?
Just saving the world, dude. That's probably, I didn't tell the truth. I'm not I'm not saving the world. I'm podcasting. What's up, man?
Not much. So, you talk about in your book, Own Your Past, Own Your Future, about the loneliness and everything.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, as someone that is mostly working solo and, flying solo in day to day, how do you make the space to build those relationships and that, authentic stuff and not just have a gazillion people, oh, hey, I know a guy, and, actually have those real friendships, real authentic stuff?
Dude, that's a great question, man. Thank you for asking that question. So I'm take it that you have a solo job. What do you do for a living?
I work in the landscaping green industry.
Okay, so you got headphones on and you're cutting grass and weed eating all day long, huh?
Yes.
Pressure washing, sweeping, blowing the whole thing, right?
Yeah, and unless I stop at a gas station or a Chick-fil-A or somewhere to use the bathroom, or I forgot to pack lunch or something like that, I usually don't interact with anybody.
Okay, and then are you married or do you live alone?
I live alone.
Okay. So reading that book, in Own Your Past, Change Your Future, there's a whole chapter about loneliness. Reading that book was probably unsettling, to say the least. Is that right?
Yeah, because it's there's a lot of people I know. There's not a lot of people that, oh, hey, I need someone to drive me to the hospital at 3:00 in the morning or anything like that. There's no one fills that contact list.
Can I tell you how impressed I am with you to have the courage to say that out loud? Because that's scary to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm proud of you for saying that. Now the next step is you got to go do something about it, right? So I think the first part of this shift and change starts with an identity change. A shift in who I am. Because right now you are a guy that freaking gets it done. You work hard, you're disciplined, you knock your lights out, you do all the stuff, you're crushing it at work, you're doing it. And what I want you to do is to expand that identity. And you are somebody that is a great friend and has great friends. That's who you are. And it's weird math. And so when I say weird math, It never would have occurred to me in a million years that I would rather hang out with my 7-year-old daughter than some of my knuckleheaded friends from back in when I was a kid. And my 7-year-old daughter costs me all my money and takes up a lot of time and doesn't always sleep through the night. And you would think those things stacked up against wanting to be around them wouldn't work, right? Because if you have a friend that took all your money and didn't want to be around and didn't sleep, all that, you wouldn't want to hang out with them. So when I tell you the math doesn't work, like on parenting, I want to tell you the math doesn't work on friendship either. I don't understand it. But here's what I know. If you will invest and work really hard as you do on your landscape stuff, if you will work that hard to get a couple of guy friends in your life, to start hanging out, to have a group of guys, and I'll walk you through a few ideas I have. If you will do that, you will see exponential growth in your business also. You'll see exponential return on your health also, unless y'all get together and do stupid stuff. So you might think, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I don't know how it works or why it works, but the invested time in human relationships and friendships always comes back exponentially in your work. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're now a guy who has friends and who is a great friend. Sometimes for me, that means I call somebody on the way home from work. I start thinking about who I'm going to call on the way to the parking lot when I'm walking out. And we just chat on the phone. It could be people from all over the United States, all from childhood, from when I was a little kid to just a few years ago. But I'll call somebody on the way home just to check in and chat and see how things are going. Another one is you can build time into gathering places, because a cornerstone of having friends is shared experiences. So it might be the gym, it might be a softball league, it might be playing chess. Start teaching guys at your local church, like, hey, I'm doing a how to fix your mower, how to do pressure washing class after church if y'all want to come hang. Another thing might be is once a week, you dedicate one half of a Saturday to going around and mowing lawns for people who don't have any money, and you invite some guys from your church or from wherever to come with you. And what you're doing is you're doing shared experiences, and then everybody pitches in and y'all get pizza or y'all go grab lunch when it's all over. Here's all I can say is this: you have to be hyper extra intentional about it. So when I tell you that, I know you've already thought of some of those things. What is your pushback? Like, does it sound stupid or pie in the sky when I say those things?
Well, it's probably just the maybe I almost want to say the laziness of going. I don't even know if that's the right word, but going, get home. I want, crack a cold drink and turn on the TV and, plop and, and the lazy boy and grill up some steaks and call it a day.
And it's called, I can't think of two things as a grown man I would rather be, I would want to be called less than a boy and lazy. And that's the name of most of our prized possessions. That glorious recliner. And so, yes, there is I don't say laziness, there is an intentionality component. You're going to have to choose a different kind of life. It's going to be uncomfortable for a while. My promise is, if you get 2 or 3 guys that are coming over having steaks with you a couple times a week, and they're bringing some of the steaks, and then one of them shows up with catfish, and one of them shows up with venison, whatever, and y'all are laughing and carrying on and playing cards instead of just watching TV, you will find a richness in your life that you didn't know existed. My deeper question is, have you made it this far? Have you always just kind of been a do it on your own kind of guy, or is this a recent shift in your life?
Probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
I had a lot of friends growing up. Like, I knew, hung out and I wasn't like a jock. I wasn't exactly a, chess team or, choir or, I wasn't particularly one, particular group, but had people that I knew in various different things and would hang out with and do stuff. But it was probably always at least the feeling of, I'm the, kind of like the wallflower of on the outside looking in.
Can I ask you a hard question, Jeff?
Sure.
Why don't you think you're worth having friends? Because I'd be willing to bet you money that some of those people that you think you were just being a wallflower would count you as one of their buddies. Or to put it another way, I bet you a couple of those guys from high school that you hung out with would have called you if they got in a mess. But
and I know I've had a few people that have called me because like they're having marriage problems or they need some extra work or that kind of stuff. But it's it's like sometimes it's the quiet ones that you watch out for because those having done a few various other jobs like first or people that I know that are in. I've got some people I know that are like first responders and stuff, and it always seems like they say the quiet ones are the ones that no one never knows that stuff happens. And it's like, well, I'm not saying anything, but on that, it's just like, well, I always seem to find it easier to be the one that people always call. And it's hard to build the relationships to actually say, hey, let's go do pizza or let's, throw some steaks on the grill or go
I know
fishing.
because you think that they don't want to be around you or that you don't want to bother anybody. Jeff, you're not a bother. You have to look inside internally and believe that people are going to be blessed by having you in their life, not the other way around. Nobody's life is better when Jeff is not in it. That's not true. People's life is better. You make their life better by the job you do. You know what you give families when you go mow their lawn and clean it up? You know what you give them? You give them time with their families. The single most precious resource that's ever been created in the history of the world. You give an exhausted mother and a completely fried father time with their family. Like you're a gift, man. And you also get to talk to all kinds of wackadoo people every day. When you take money, when you do their yards with their requests, all that kind of stuff. You have a lot to offer, man. And it breaks my heart that you think you don't. Do you believe me when I tell you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I want you to quit holding out on the world and hiding Jeff from them. Here's what I want you. I want you to pretend and or practice. Make it a priority. Put it once or twice on the once or twice a week on your calendar. I'm going to call a couple of folks to have them over. I'm going to go first. They can come to my house, and I'm not cleaning up for you. And they need to bring a side dish. And you're gonna provide the steaks and the grill. And they can bring beers. They can bring dessert, whatever it is. And I want you to stay on the line. I'm going to send you a whole bunch of packs of questions for humans so you'll have something to do instead of just staring at each other. Okay? That's going to be my gift to you. But you got to commit to practicing and trying it. And here's what I promise is going to happen. A bunch of times guys aren't going to show up. Several times they're going to show up and it's going to be super weird because y'all are going to realize you vote for different people and you're going to get mad. But there'll be one or two or three of the guys that you really sync with. You'll end up going fishing one Sunday afternoon. One of those guys bails you out when you get sick and they cut your lawns for you and you cut them in on the deal. And you're going to realize that's my guy. Those are my guys. And you're going to be those guys for them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's changing your identity to I'm a guy that is worth hanging around, and it's about being extra intentional. I wish with all my heart, man, I wish there was a hack to this one. I wish there was some secret, like hidden algorithm for making friends. There's not. You just got to go risk it. Just got to go risk. And understand that if you just go home from work every day to your lonely apartment, crack open a beer, turn on the TV, and hang out with Ted Lasso and all the cast of The Office, instead of hanging out with real people, your life is going to be shorter than other people. And more importantly, it's going to be less rich and less engaged and less joyful. It's not going to be a whole life. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when the storms come. You will need other people. Other people are your emergency fund for life. You will need them standing by your side. So, I say this from the bottom of my heart, Jeff. You're worth being friends with. Go make friends. Go be weird. Risk it all. And if they can't show up or they don't like you, that's on them. That has nothing to do with you. Go on to the next and go on to the next and go on to the next. You are worth having friends. Hang on the line here. We'll hook you up.
Well, I recently found out through a family member who got to digging into ancestries and 23andMe and stuff like that, that I have a 28-year-old daughter that I've never met.
Oh, my goodness. You had no idea?
No idea. None whatsoever.
Wowzers.
And one of my family members has met her and talked to her, and she does not want to meet me at this moment, and maybe never will. And I was just wondering how, I might get through this if she doesn't, because, I really hate the thought of anybody in the world hating me, or not liking me. So
yeah,
it's kind of a struggle.
Wow. Who's the mother?
Just one of those 19, 20 year ago one night stand quick things,
Huh. Man. So how old is this youngin'? 20 years old?
28.
So it wasn't 19 or 20 years ago. It was 28 years ago?
Yeah. I'm just...
Oh, okay. Gotcha. 29 years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have biological kids?
Yes.
Okay. What are you feeling right now?
Well, my regular life, I feel pretty good. I have nothing to complain about that. But, just thought of somebody, thinking that I might be a bad person, and not want to have anything to do with me because something somebody else might have, said to them,
So I wouldn't want to meet you if that's what your concern was.
Okay.
And here's what I mean by that. Because you would be needing me to make you feel better.
Makes sense.
If you told me I have a daughter and my heart just expanded.
It did. I promise you it did.
I want to meet this person. I want to look in her eyes. I want to see what she looks like. I want to know all about her life. I didn't expect this, and here we are, and I missed 30 years, and I got a lot of catching up to do. Then I would be all about that.
Well, I do, because when I found out, I felt like there was a piece, something missing for years, and I felt it, but I didn't know what it was. And as soon as I found out, I promise you, I felt it.
Have you reached out to her?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I don't know how to.
Your family member won't give you the contact info?
Not at the moment, no.
Why?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
But, I've done some digging and talked to other people. I do know where she's at, but I don't want to feel like,
listen, bro.
The stalkerish thing.
You're her dad.
Just reach out to somebody out of nowhere, hey, I'm your dad.
Yes, yes.
Get away from me.
Well, give her, at least give her the chance to say that.
Okay, so you think I should do that?
Are you kidding me? Yes. And I would do it gently, because this is probably a huge, clearly is a huge, okay, number one, I don't fully believe you're a family member.
You don't believe that?
I don't believe they've talked.
Me.
What kind of scummy family member wouldn't tell you, hey, here's how to get a hold of your daughter that you didn't know you had? What a control freak of a jerk. That's lame, man. I'm mad on your behalf. That's number one. But forget all that. Maybe let's pretend this family member is telling the 100% truth.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. You know how to use the internet. You know how to call somebody. Hire somebody, for crying out loud. You have a daughter out there.
Yes, I do. Like I said, I know where she's at.
Okay.
And
here's what
I've looked.
I would start with a letter. And I would be.
But I do not have an address to send it to.
I think go deliver it to her front door, dude.
Well, I don't know exactly where she lives.
Okay, then hire a private investigator. Within 24 hours, you'll have all that information. It's going to cost you $1,500.
Okay, so you don't think you believe I need to reach out and not be scared to do it?
Bro, this is your daughter. But if you go in there and say, hey, the thought of you being mad at me, I just couldn't live with myself, then I wouldn't even acknowledge the letter.
Right.
If you sent a letter that said, I just found out the wildest, most amazing news. I have a daughter that I haven't met for 30 years, and I didn't even know you were here. We found out through 23andMe. I'm stunned, as you probably are. I don't know what stories you've heard about me. Here's about my life. I feel like another chamber in my heart just opened up, and I feel like I got a lot of catching up to do, but I also realize this throws a huge grenade in your life. Here's my contact info. Here's my cell phone number. I don't know how to do this right because I've never had this happen, so I don't want to smother you. I don't want, you see what I'm saying?
Right, and that's another thing. I just don't know how to do it.
Lead with that. No, there's not a roadmap for how do you say hello to a 30-year-old child of yours that you didn't even know you had because you had a one-night stand, and your partner that you had a one-night stand with just didn't tell you?
Right.
And I would put clear in the letter, not trying to CYA already, but put in the letter, I had zero knowledge that you were around. And I would even go, if you can go back to the date, I had a one-night stand.
I know the date. I know where it happened.
I'd put that in there. I had a one-night stand, and I've come to find out 30 years later that I've got a baby girl, and my front door is wide open.
Okay.
And I also realize you have your own life, and if you don't want to talk to me, I understand. I'll be heartbroken, but I want to honor and respect you.
Well, that's what I needed to hear. I just needed a little push.
What are you nervous about, man?
Man, I'm always nervous about everything.
How come?
I know why my whole life.
Are you nervous with your own kids?
Sometimes.
Okay. It's okay to be nervous about stuff and be anxious about stuff. I'm that way. But if you need to today, Mark, do me a favor. How old are your kids?
Well, I've got a 22-year-old son and another daughter that's 27.
Okay. Call them today and say, hey, your old man's nervous. And I'm kind of an anxious guy, but there's one thing I'm not anxious about, and that's how much I love you.
Oh, I tell them all the time how much I love them. They have no doubt, how much I love them and my grandkids. And
do they know about this other person?
Yes, they do know.
What'd they say?
They're tickled.
Yeah. They didn't say, dang, Dad, getting around back in the day.
Well, that's what my wife said.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, man. Go storm the gates for your daughter.
Well, that's what I needed to hear. Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. Hey, will you do me a favor? If she reaches back out, will you holler and let us know?
I sure will.
Thank you. Let us know how it ends. And if you're on the other end out here somewhere and somebody knocks on your door, sends you a letter and says, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm your sibling, I'm your dad. That blows up your life, I know, but consider reaching back out. This world needs more coming back together than it does any more blowing up things and moving further apart.
I lost my husband 7 months ago, and after he passed away, I found out he cheated on me 2 years ago.
Oh, no.
And that discovery shattered me all over again, and now I'm left grieving not just his loss, but the truth that I thought we had. And so how do I heal from the betrayal that comes after death when the person who hurt me is gone and the pain is tangled up with grief?
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry.
I know.
That's a lot of grief all at the same time. A lot of different kinds of grief hitting you at the same time.
For sure.
They talk about grief as a tidal wave, but you're drowning and you got set on fire at the same time. It's not supposed to be like that.
Absolutely.
How'd you find out about the affair?
I went through his phone.
Uh-oh.
The phone that I didn't have access to before.
Ah, okay. So this is tough because normally if you and I were just sitting down having nachos, we would talk through a lot of different avenues, but because we have a condensed time, I'm just going to jump in there. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Tell me about your marriage before you passed away.
I mean, when it was good, but I think there was a lot of red flags way before getting married. The phone was always an issue. It was always like, I never had access to that phone. It was always kind of hidden. So deep down inside, I think I knew.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Yeah, you think you knew?
Yeah, but I always kind of ignored it just because I didn't want to cause problems. And we have 3 kids. I didn't want them to see arguing or bickering back and forth. It kind of shocked me still, even though deep down inside I kind of figured, because why else would you hide your phone?
Right. Especially with somebody you made a life with, you made kids with, all that stuff, right?
Right.
Oh, man. So that's even another layer of grief. So you're grieving the loss of your husband. How long were y'all married?
15 years, together for 22.
How old are you?
43.
Yeah, so this has been somebody who's been with you more than half your life.
Right.
So let's sit on that for a sec. Hold on. Let's sit on. I want to sit on that one for just 1 second. Like half your life.
Yep.
And even when the structure was wobbly, you still leaned on him for half your life, right?
Always.
Yeah. So there's a reality to that even though we found some stuff out about him, he also provided some structure in my life for a long time. Even if it wasn't great structure, and in retrospect, I wish it had been a different structure, it was what it was, and we leaned on that for 20 years. So we're going to just exhale on that for a second. And then we're going to grieve the fact that we kind of knew and we didn't trust ourselves for 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's a grief in the mirror, right?
Right.
And then we're going to grieve the fact that I won't use a bunch of expletives because he's your deceased husband, but this guy, they cheated on me. Are you kidding me? After I sat with him, how did he pass away?
He had cancer.
Yeah, so I sat with him through cancer, held his hand as he left, and then I find that out, right?
Right.
And can I throw another grief in there? Now there's the grief that you're feeling about, I don't even know how to walk forward because I don't trust myself. I don't trust the person I spent half my life with. I thought I was protecting my kids, and actually I wasn't. Like all of that. Now you just don't even know what step to take. Is that fair?
Fair.
Tell me something you did right as his health was failing?
Well, I took care of him, no questions asked.
Tell me about that.
Anything he needed, I catered to his every need. And I just feel like, did he do this because I was lacking something?
Nope. I don't want him in the picture right now. I want to talk to you. I'm trying to get in a real quick time frame. I'm trying to get, what kind of person are you?
I have no idea anymore.
No, you do. Keep telling me. When you say I catered to his every need, give me a couple of details of what that meant. Some people have never sat with somebody dying of cancer. What does that mean?
I honestly, I put myself on the back burner and took care of everybody.
Okay.
I don't even know who I am anymore.
I've got a glimpse. You're a protector. We could debate whether you did it the right way or quote unquote the wrong way, but you're a mama who did whatever she had to do, including stuffing every feeling she had down to her toes in an effort to keep her family together and protect her kids, even though she had an inkling that something wasn't right. You're a saint because you walked with somebody dying of cancer. What kind of cancer did he have?
Colon.
Okay. So that meant you were dealing with colostomy bag, you were wiping your husband, you were doing all kinds of things, right?
Right.
Yeah. And if someone's never sat with somebody in colon cancer, it's a disease that takes your dignity too. And you waded right through that.
Till the very end.
Mm-hmm. And that also tells me you were strong. It was scary to pick up that phone, wasn't it? Because you didn't know what you were going to find.
Oh, God. You have no idea.
Yeah. And so in just a few short minutes, I've learned that you're very, very strong. I've learned that you're a protector. I've learned that you are the definition of ride or die, even when your husband was not. And that tells me you're somebody I'm glad is in my community, in my town, in my state, in my country.
Thank you. No one's ever said that to me.
It's a high honor getting to talk to you.
Thanks.
And the scariest proposition for you is, are you going to let what you found in that phone change who you are? Because we find out who we are when the chips are down. Right?
Right.
And you found out what you're made of. You're stronger than you thought humanly possible. So the question is, because you were with somebody, and let's don't throw out the baby with the bathwater, he probably had some great traits, right?
He did.
Which is what makes this all so hard and confusing, right?
Right.
You get to pick the narrative moving forward about how you remember him, and you get to pick what happens next in your life. Here's what that means. You can choose to say, he was a complete and utter SOB bastard that I wasted 20 years of my life with a scumbag. That can be your story, and there would be some truth to that. That can be the story you tell his kids, your kids. That could be the story you tell your community, your family. That can be true. The story you can choose to ruminate on and memorialize is, I spent 20 years with a guy who both took care of me, and that dude had a bunch of demons. Because here's the thing, neither of those stories will impact his actions or behaviors. It will only impact how you sleep and walk through the world. So you get to decide how you remember him. And by the way, that story will unfold in multiple ways over the next month, years. You're not even a year out, right? The fog is just now starting to lift, right?
Right.
Like on the reality of money, the reality of safety, the reality of, are we going to keep the home? All that stuff is just becoming really clear. And it's scary because even though he was a cheating jerk, he also was consistent, right?
Right.
He's always just there. This isn't always helpful, and everybody gets to decide what story they want to tell about whatever situation. But what I've found in my personal life is when I keep ugly, negative stories circling about the past, they don't do anything to change the person I'm making the story about, but it makes it harder for me to get up and walk through my day. And it doesn't let somebody who's not in your life anymore off the hook. It just frees you. And nothing can take away the hurt you feel right this second. Trying to run from it or hide from it or numb it. I mean, it will resurface somewhere in your life. You'll be angry. You'll snap at one of your kids, right? You'll feel it coming out all over the place. So the only thing you can do is honor it. Find a couple of your girlfriends that thought he was just the greatest guy in the world and tell them. Have that honest conversation. And be totally honest. Tell the ugly stuff and also tell the good stuff because it's all true. And then let me ask you this. What's your next move? Do you need to leave your home? Are you going to get to keep the house? Did you have life insurance? What's your plan?
No, we get to keep the house. So that's where we're staying, like me and the kids.
Awesome. Are you going to have to go get a job?
I still have my job, so
okay.
We don't, and then we get to, he had a pension and stuff like that, so that's all. That stuff isn't an issue, thank God.
Yeah. So you get the privilege, the earned privilege, just being sad for a while.
Yeah.
And I guess what I would tell you as your new friend is trying to make sense of things that are not sensible only make you crazy.
Right.
But let me make sure you hear this one more time in just a few minutes. I've heard that you are strong beyond words. I've heard that you are a fierce protector, even to the point that you'll sacrifice yourself and how you feel and what you know to be true for those 3 knuckleheaded kids. And you are as ride or die is. Because you held the man's hand as he slowly withered away. Can you hear that and hold that?
Yes.
Okay, because that's true also. And maybe you're going to come up against some times when you want to be reflective about, I don't know, maybe I was mean to him. Maybe I always yelled to him. Maybe I didn't sleep with him enough. Or maybe I was always complaining. Maybe those things will emerge, but that's not for today. It's 7 months ago, and you had a new trauma 2 months ago or 1 month ago. Let's be sad for a bit. And in our grief, let's create some boundaries. I'm not going to go drinking. I'm not going to go down rabbit holes. I'm not going to Google everything. Let's create some boundaries so that we can stay safe while we're grieving. I'm not going to vomit all over our kids. I am going to get some women in my life to just sit down and talk with. But I think you, quote unquote, move on. I don't know that you move on. I think you just continue to do the next right thing and grieve honestly with all of it. Here's my promise, Sarah. You call me anytime and I'll put you back on the show. You're in a long season now. A long season of wondering if every ailment you have is cancer, wondering if your kids are going to be okay. All that stuff is coming. But I think for today, let's just be sad. We're going out to Cassie in Cambridge, where they got equations on the walls at the bars. What's up, Cassie?
Hi, Dr. John.
Are you an MIT kid or a Harvard kid? A Harvard kid?
No, none of those. I wish I was, but no.
I'm not either. I'm a state school guy. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, what's up, Cassie?
All right. So I guess my question here is, it sounds weird, but I have.
Have you ever heard this show?
Oh, yeah, I have. Yeah.
It's all. I promise. Whatever you're about to say, you're not the weird one. So, bring it on.
Okay. So I have this fear of basically going to the doctors, and it's like super strange. But I'll cancel appointments and I'll miss appointments because of it. And I don't know if this is something. Is there something I can do before it, or if I need to deal with something, or if it's just normal, I guess.
Why are you scared to go to the doctor? Why does your body tell you we don't need to go there?
Well, I guess I had pretty bad experiences in the past.
Tell me about them.
Yeah. So I was in elementary school, and I think part of it is because
tell me.
Okay. When I was in elementary school, I struggled with food and just stuff like that. And I ended up being hospitalized.
Cassie.
Yes.
Say it all the way.
Well, I was hospitalized, and then
For what?
This is what I can talk about it, but I can't name it. So I don't know.
Okay. So you had a challenge with food. Were you struggling with anorexia or bulimia?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
Okay. Why can't you say that?
I don't know.
Will you say it right now?
Maybe.
Go for it.
I struggled with some eating issues.
Okay.
And it led to me being hospitalized for a couple of weeks. And then I was thrown into basically a psych ward. But I just had a rough experience in there. It was a teenage unit, and I was 12 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a goody two shoes when I was younger, so I just saw so many different things in there, and it was a really scary experience.
What was? Thank you for saying that out loud. By the way, I know it was hard. Okay. Why were you a goody two shoe?
I'm
gonna ask that in a hard, direct way. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Often, goody two shoes can be a trauma response. It's a way to keep the boogeyman away. It's a way to keep a scary uncle or a mom and dad from being on your case, from messing with you. If you just do everything perfect and toe the line and stay out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what
I always did. I did well in school. I just wanted.
Of course you did.
I like to do well. Yeah.
Okay. What were the roots in disordered eating? What was that a response to?
I wish I knew that, because I don't know. I felt like I was so young that it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. And I've recently, in the past year, heard some studies that suggests that may be a more genetic than we previously thought. We used to prescribe it all to traumas and anxiety response, and that there is some significant literature that suggests that can be highly genetic. That there's really not a lot of environmental factors, but I don't know enough about it. Here's what's important now. Are you healed now? Do you have a good relationship with food now?
I would say, yeah, for the most part, I feel good.
Good. Do you still struggle from anorexia or bulimia?
Not really. Only when times are tough, but no, not really.
Okay. Times have been tough for everybody recently, Cassie.
Yeah.
So why did you need to go to the doctor?
It's kind of a regular checkup or follow-up. I had a major health scare earlier this year, and it wasn't related. Well, I don't know if it was or wasn't related. They say it wasn't, but I always feel super guilty that I caused the issue.
What's the issue?
So I had a growth in my body that required surgery, but I guess this is my fault because I waited until the growth became massive until I went to the doctors to get it checked out.
You and I could spend some time together. I know, but you don't like Cassie, and I don't like that you don't like Cassie because I like Cassie. And
I think I like her.
You are pleasant with her, but you think she does a lot of stuff wrong.
I think she could be better in some ways, yeah.
Wanting to improve on things is one thing. Be better is a totally different proposition. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So here's the last couple of times, or there's been a couple of times in your life that you've gone to the doctor. One of them has ended in a surgery that you have shame over. Another time ended up in a hospitalization, and you probably heard it from your parents about how expensive it was and how they had to quit their job and they had to, right? It caused a major upheaval in your home that somehow was transferred onto you. This is your fault. Not we're your parents and we love you and it's our job to take care of you to the ends of the earth. That's what we signed up for when we had you. But if you're fine, just eat, or just right, those kind of things. And here you are now, and you need to go to the doctor. And your body's put some GPS pins in the doctor's offices as though they are the problem. And I'd love to reframe that and say, no, you had some scary experiences as a kid, and it probably wasn't a good idea for you. It wasn't a good idea for a 12-year-old to be put on a psych ward with teenagers. The number of students over the years that I sat with in psych wards that were like, oh, I thought I wasn't okay, but whoa. After spending 2 nights in a psych ward, they're like, I'm fine, right? I don't have that. All but like a handful had that experience. And I can only imagine how terrifying that was for a 12-year-old. Right? The phobia is real. This fear is real. And there is one way to heal from it. And it's to go right through it. Okay? And I know that's the worst possible answer you can get. Here's what I have found in my life. Is you have to teach your body that it's okay to go now. It wasn't then. It's okay now. That's what healing from trauma is. I can walk in and I can feel my heart rate getting up. I can feel my hands. I can feel myself picking up my phone to cancel, and I'm not going to. I'm going to feel it. And what we're going to do over the course of a few visits is we're going to retrain our body that doctors are trustworthy and they're okay. And that if I do have to have surgery, thank goodness there's a group of people who's dedicated their lives to keeping people like me safe. Right? It's a total reframe from, oh God, if I go there, they're going to cut another big lump of my body out of me. It's, man, thank goodness they are keeping me safe. And I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to feel it. And here's the other thing. Disordered eating has a way of isolating us, creating a space between us and relationships and us and the rest of the world. Fair?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I've struggled with disordered eating almost my entire life. Okay. And I only recently started talking about that publicly. It's been a mess.
Oh.
Okay. I tell you that to tell you, I can be in a crowded room completely by myself because I am so preoccupied with judging how I look and how I'm standing and how I'm moving. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. The only way through that is to open up to other people. And now I come out of my room and I look at my wife and say, is this shirt okay to wear? And she says, yes. And I trust her more than my feelings. And I'm in the process right now in my 40s of learning how to trust and how to feel what a shirt feels like that fits, that doesn't feel awkward, that, you know what I mean? That's where you are. And we're going to practice relationships. So I have found walking through anxiety, walking through phobias, walking through those moments, I can only do it with somebody else with me by my side. Okay. And so it's making an appointment to go to the doctor and calling a friend and saying, I need you to come here and set up an appointment for me. Or I need you to call and make an appointment for me on the first 2 or 3 while I'm learning. And that way I can't call and cancel them. Only you can. And then I need you to come pick me up because I'm not going to get in the car.
That's actually a good idea.
Here's what we're doing. We're owning reality. And reality is right now, I can't stop eating sugar. I'm just throwing that out there. So I'm going to take all the sugar out of my house. I can't right now, and you can, but it feels like you can't. I can't make a good choice when it comes to seeing a doctor because every time I make an appointment, my whole body freezes on me and tenses up because the last few times I've gone, it's been a disaster, both financially and physically. So, hey, I need you to make this appointment for me or do it with me. And then I need you to drive me. Would you come pick me up? Would you walk alongside me during this time? Would you be in the room with me? Would you sit in there with me while the doctor gives me the news? I'd really appreciate that. And then our bodies are going to see that we are not alone. Our bodies are going to see that doctor's got our best interest at heart. Our body's going to see that we're more well after we visit our doctor than before. And then it's going to learn over time, oh, Cassie's driving now. Cassie's in control. Doctors aren't the end of the world. I had a real bad experience once. Then they saved my life the next time. They're for me, not against me. And we're just teaching our body that. You're brave young woman. I would also recommend find a local counselor in your area and let them know. I really struggle with some historical trauma here. I don't know where it's from. I don't know why. I still struggle with disordered eating every once in a while when things get stressed, and things are always stressed. And I want some practical tips on breathing through and box breathing and dropping my shoulders when I've got to do hard things like make doctor's appointments and actually show up, make counseling appointments and actually show up. Because we can't do life by ourselves, Cassie. We can't. Got to have other people, professionals and friends, moms and dads and romantic partners. We need everybody.